Hi, and welcome back to this next episode of Living Life Being Human with me, your host, Jackie Jones from Jackie Jones Coaching. First off, an apology for not posting a podcast or a YouTube video for quite a long time, but I've been busy doing things, which is good in one respect, but not good because I haven't been consistent in my podcast. So huge apologies for that. I've launched a new podcast and doing videos with a collaboration with Mr. Bob Cook, who is the gentleman from the Manchester Institute of Psychotherapy where I trained. So if you want to listen to that, then feel free, just go in iTunes and just search The Therapy Show Behind Closed Doors and myself and Bob will pop up. It's more based on the theory behind transactional analysis, which is what I do. So I've been focusing on that a little bit, but I'm picking up my own podcast, quite rightly so. And I'm going to it's not a relaunch, but I'm going to do it with gusto now. It's took me a while to find myself, I suppose, and to step out from behind the shadows and get away from what I think I should be doing to what I actually really want to be doing. So this is the first episode where I'm going to start musing over my thoughts around mental health. I've been doing it for a while, but not being fully authentically me, which I think is why sometimes I've struggled to jump on board and to do these podcasts. So I've just been deliberating. I am at the moment in the middle of recording a course. And I think that's what's kind of prompted me, because I was doing my hair and putting my face on. And I was just thinking about why I do that. Why do I need to have my hair and my makeup done before I go in front of the camera? And is that my ego that's getting in the way? And I don't think it is. I could be completely wrong because I'm only seeing things through my filter. But one of the things that was kind of instilled in me in my family when I was growing up was that, you know, you have a wash before you go out and meet somebody, and you change your clothes and you look presentable, because I think one of the phrases or the parental slogans that sticks in my head is that you're representing the family. So there was a certain expectation of my mother around certain things. But the other side of it, which I think is more me, is that from my point of view, it shows respect for the other person. If I'm meeting up with somebody and I turn up and I don't have any qualms with anybody else doing this, what I'm talking about is my personal beliefs and values. We all have our own benchmark for what we think is acceptable and what we don't, and it is completely different to anybody else's. My beliefs and values are unique to me. So this is not, and I really hope it doesn't come across as a judgment or a criticism to anybody else. I'm just trying to share with you the thoughts around why I do certain things, why I behave in certain ways. What are our beliefs and values and where do they come from? And one of the things that is quite high up on my beliefs and values is respect for the other person. And there's something about, you know, my respect for you as the listener to the podcast. There's something about my respect for you as the viewer if you're watching me on a video. That if I turn up, so I do have a messy bun head sometimes when I come on here, admittedly, because I've been fighting something that I didn't know what it was all about. I'm a psychotherapist. I should get this chisel. I was going to swear then, but I thought I better not. Because again, you know, I should be respectful for some of the people that might be offended by me swearing. But it's me fighting against something, you know, trying to be like everybody else, trying to, you know, come on here in me joggy bottoms, even though I've never jogged in my life, and having a messy bun and things. And I don't feel comfortable in front of the camera when I do that. And I don't think that's about my ego. I think that's because of my values and beliefs that were instilled in me as I was growing up about being respectful to the other person. You know, if I was doing training for a company, I would, you know, were certain clothes that I didn't necessarily feel comfortable in because I thought that was how I respected the other person. So it's took me a while to find my niche. I always say I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of girl. That's what I'm comfortable in. But it kind of, there's a block or a barrier or some sort of resistance, whatever you want to call it, against me being authentically who I am, and whether that is disrespectful to the people that are listening to me or the people that I'm training or whatever. So I just thought I'd explore that a little bit with you around, am I so consumed with the opinions of the other person that it kind of stops me from being who I am? And yes, there's a possibility of that, that my beliefs and values, all our beliefs and values, are so deeply rooted in us that we don't even know why we do what we do. We know when we're not doing what we think we should do. This is going to sound like a real ramble, but bear with me, because we get a funny feeling, we get a wobble, we get, some people call it anxiety. I call it a wobble or a bit of apprehension, or that uneasy feeling when I'm stepping out of my life script, when I'm kind of pushing the boundaries of my beliefs and values. I get a feeling of unease. So if I was, going to talk to a group of people that I perceived being of a higher status of me, I would feel like I needed to dress accordingly and speak accordingly and do all of these things, because that's my belief and values. That's what I was brought up, that you respect, people of a higher status than you, that you show respect to other people and those sort of things. So I just thought I'd explore that a little bit with you. This one's going to be a short one because I'm just getting back into the swing of things, but I just thought I'd share that, and maybe it's something that you want to think about. And just be curious about your values and beliefs. When you do something and you get a bit of an uneasy feeling, is that because you're pushing your values and beliefs? Are they your values and beliefs, or are they ones like me that I've kind of inherited from my parents? Because those parental slogans, the values and beliefs, the unfortunate thing about them, or the interesting thing about them, is that we absorb them fully from our parents without filtering them, because we're brought up in our family and we trust our main caregivers, usually mum and dad, but it could be a foster care, it could be grandparents, whatever it is. So we don't filter what they tell us. So when my mum was saying to me, you always get dressed and, brush your hair and everything before you go out because, people will have an opinion on you and you need to respect people, I just accepted that, and it kind of become part of who I am. And I refer to it as it becomes part of our DNA. It doesn't become part of our DNA, but it becomes part of our subconscious. But that subconscious is really difficult to connect with sometimes. It's there, and we usually get a feeling around things that are in our subconscious until they bubble up, until something pops up to the surface, and then we can start to question it. And I think for me, just lately, my values and beliefs have just been popping up about, why do I get stuck? Because I'm doing this training about making a change. I know I have lots of resistance around doing certain things, and I'm curious about them because part of me wants to make a change. Part of me wants to just kind of think, why is this so difficult? What is this all about? Why can I not just do X, Y, and Z? Betty down the road does it without a problem. Why is it such a struggle for me to do this? And it's all connected with our life script, our values and beliefs, the way that we've been brought up. Everything is unique and individual to us. So I would probably find it easier to do something than Betty down the road does because of my upbringing, because of my values and beliefs. And the same with her. She will be able to do things without a second thought, whereas I procrastinate and overthink it for days, weeks, and maybe even months before I grew a pair and actually did the thing. So just be curious about what your values and beliefs are. And, don't take this the wrong way. And I'm not saying that you're not doing it properly or anything, but don't be fooled by the first thing that comes up, because usually the first thing that comes up when we think about our values and beliefs are coming from a logical place. That's coming from our conscious mind as opposed to our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind keeps things very well hidden. We need the secret code to open up the box to find out what they are. So what it tends to do is throw up something into our logical mind and think, yeah, that's what my values and beliefs are. It might be something around, always love your children and be kind and be nice and those kind of general things. They're usually our logical mind that's thinking those are my values and beliefs and that's what I hold dear. Our subconscious and the stuff that's really deep rooted is very well hidden, and sometimes it takes us a while to get to it. So just be curious. One of my phrases, I always say this, just be curious. It's not about being critical and it's not about being judgmental. And whatever your values and beliefs are, it's okay. They're your values and beliefs. You're not inflicting them on the world. You're not, making other people have the same values and beliefs as you. But your values and beliefs might be the one thing that's preventing you from making the change that you want. So just bear that in mind. So I'm going to disappear now and probably record another podcast. So I've got another one in the bag for next week, and I'm being more consistent with this. So thank you so much for listening to me, and I shall be back very soon with the next episode. Take care.